Sword Art Online, one of the most hated yet loved anime series, centralizing around a boy trapped in a video game whose creator decided Squid Game was too easy and wanted to do us one better. If you've seen this show, you know it can be hard to follow, with plot lines that seemingly go nowhere. And to add to your confusion in this revisit of Season 1, I will add my own spice and magic to the story, making you question the credibility of this summary. Regardless of if this is your first dive into SAO or if you're a seasoned veteran, I'd like to go ahead and apologize beforehand for what you are about to experience. I'd like to shift the blame for the rapey villain and cousin-related romance in the second half to the original author. I'm from America, but not that America. Nonetheless, I hope you find humor and interest in this summary of what I have to consider the best anime of our lifetime. So let's do this. It's a busy day in the gaming community with the launch of yet another MMO. This one boasts sword-based online gameplay that has no magic but thousands of skills called arts. There's your title cue. Our main character Kirito, aka character mold of every anime MC to bless us with their existence, gives us a tour of this amazing game. Its only flaw is the minor inconvenience of not having a log out button. Allow me to explain. Gabe Newell over at Valve headquarters has designed a very cool new game for his invention called the HTC hookup to your brain system. This HTC hookup to your brain system puts the big ball of wrinkles of yours directly into the game, making it like real life, but cool. Let's be real, if this tech existed, no one would bother with reality. Surprise, Gabe has decided to use 10,000 peoples in a humorous experiment involving microwaving brains and no respawns. You're all trapped in the game. SAO is made up of 100 floors. To win and return to their subpar lives in the real world, the players must clear all 100. The big funny of the experiment that Gabe has added is if you die in the game, you die in real life. I think I've heard that one before. At first you may think, oh, so this show's gonna go level by level each episode, and we're gonna see our default MC grow and develop through this series. Yeah, about that. The next 6 episodes cover over 70 of the floors, all while MC maintains pro gamer status, but just shitty enough to lose his entire party to a pack of dwarves from Lord of the Rings. Default Kun also gains the title of Beater, which is a more important plot element than I want it to be. It's like an added form of segregation for gamers. Going back to the 6 episode setup, John Beater fights a cracked out Santa Claus to obtain his soul, which can res dead players. But just like every MMO item, there are conditions that make it borderline useless. There's also this girl and guy, and this murder gang that doesn't really relate to the plot after their debut. The only things you really need to take away from this portion of the show is that this tsundere started her journey as a quiet and reserved woman, but sometime within the 2 years in game, she decided to have a personality. Oh, and Default Kun has PTSD from past trauma. Alright, about time. 2 years have passed since the first day of Sword Death Online, and roughly 4,000 players have died. Gabe Newell hasn't been spotted since the start of the game, and a majority of players are just taking up residence and low-key vibing, while their real bodies have most likely obtained the special ailment known as bed sores. The silver lining here is that this woman exists, and what can I say, I need nothing more. In other news, this fucker won't leave our queen alone, so Default Kun does us all a favor and claps his cheeks harder than angry Catholic school nuns on a Tuesday afternoon. After that, there's a cool fight against Blue-Eyed White Dragon, which showcases Default Kun's amazing ability to dual-wield swords. Our queen then decides to leave the guild and hang with John Beater, but her guild master isn't having none of that, so Kirito and him have a duel to decide her fate. And his. Oh look, he's in a guild now. Default Kun has to go through mandatory training with this cool guy and this shithead that isn't even worth the bullet I want to put in between his skull. Honestly though, I got way too pissed off when this guy died. I knew him for like 2 minutes, but I really liked him.
Somebody kill this guy.
After almost dying, Default Kun and Queen profess their love, get married, take a leave of absence, have a kid, get a house. Now we gotta go back to that one. These two stumble upon a kid in the woods who turns out to be a self-aware AI that has broken free of the system. It doesn't last long before she's reclaimed by the system gods, but they're able to save her soul into a stone for plot reasons. It just works, guys. I don't know how, but it just does. Our two lovebirds get half of one more episode to be happy before being thrown back into the fray against a giant bone centipede that wipes out any and every character that doesn't have plot significance. Yeah, can you leave these guys alone? We need them next chapter.
Sure thing, boss.
Thank you. As it goes in these shows, one surprise leads to another, and it turns out Guildmaster Man is actually Gabe Newell, the final boss of the game. Kirito and him have a face-off. Wow. I didn't see that one coming. Hey, what the fuck? After our queen is game ended, I stopped caring, and it seems Default Kun feels the same. Somehow though, thanks to plot, he impales Gabe Newell last minute and they both die. Amazing. So in light of recent events, Gabe Newell, John Beater, and Queen Asuna are all sitting on a cloud watching the world burn. Metaphorically, of course. Gabe lets all the remaining players go, and when asked why he did it, he simply replies saying,
私も長い間忘れていたよ。なぜだろうな。
Yeah, buddy, I just created a death game that ended with 4,000 people dying. I'm not fucking sure why I did it though. Truly a different type of being Gabe is, let me tell you. Queen Asuna and Kirito share their final moments together in a heart-touching scene. It turns out that Gabe does have a bit of a heart and doesn't game end these two. Default Kun awakens in a hospital and he runs out the door in search of his beloved. And that's where it ends. Hey, hold up. Fuck. Now with episode 14 having an implied happy ending, where Kirito and Asuna hug tightly, cherishing the life that they have been gifted. Episode 15 says, fuck you, Kirito's sister is actually his cousin, and she's in love with him. Asuna's being sexually harassed by this Reddit mod, and is still trapped in VR. And get this, she's in this fairy game now, cause yes, that's how this works. Obviously we all know what's coming. Default Kun goes in the game to go save Queen Asuna, and to add some romantic flair to this arc, this woman is actually his sister cousin, who's in love with him. But despite Default Kun looking exactly like he does in real life, it seems she's not capable of cohesive thought and cannot make the connection between the two. She falls in love with her Oni-chan twice in one season. Sword Art Online, guys. Default Kun revives his daughter as a pixie, so I guess that's pretty cool. Kirito and non-sister, but still a blood-related cousin, let me make that clear, there is still a little distance between this romance, team up to make the journey up the big tree, where Queen Asuna is being held like a trophy by the r/SAO head moderator. You know who you are. But before we get to that, Kirito must first face his greatest enemy yet, politics. So in Fairyland, there are 10 races, but I'm convinced only 4 of them actually exist. There's the Salamanders, who are all around dicks, the Sylph and Cat Sith, they're pretty cool, and the Spriggan, which are only relevant because this guy's made it so. Together, the Sylph, Kate Sith, and the only known Spriggan form an agreement to go up the big tree. Meanwhile, Queen Asuna finally does something and escapes her birdcage in the top of the big tree. I don't like where this is going. Well, at least she tried. Below her, Kirito is currently going ape shit against an invisible fucking wall. After using what little exists of his brain, he takes the normal route up the tree, which he equally fails at. After saving his ass, his sister finds out that this other guy she has started to fall in love with is also her brother. Big shock. Now that she is a 2-time brother lover, she has the most natural reaction possible and starts to cry about it. Yeah, me too. While I am busy dismissing that plot element from my brain, Default Kun, brother lover, and this guy who is now important all go attempt suicide once more. How does it go? You know, I too would buy Kamikaze Magic. After drawing out the process for the entire episode, the Sylph and Kate Sith eventually show up to assist, which begs the question, why couldn't Kirito just wait for them? Once through the mob of disposable enemies with no personality, Kirito uses this card that just so happened to drop from Asuna during the intense fight against the invisible wall. Kirito and his internet daughter reach mommy and everything is great. No more broken mechanics can get in between these two. Now this guy has ascended from being perverted Discord mod to being a rapey perverted Discord mod. Not a big jump if you ask me. After 2 long minutes of this garbage, the kitten smuggler finally gets what's coming to him thanks to an unconvincing plot element involving our one true Gabe Newell that is all too confusing to rationalize. I don't need it to make sense. I just need to watch this man become a puzzle. Kirito uses his newfound admin privileges to free Asuna from her virtual prison. Now that the stingy mod is dealt with, these two can finally have a moment to themselves. Son of a bitch. After one of the most unnecessary second halves in anime history, I finally get to see my queen be happy. So I guess you could say it was worth it in the end. In other news, it seems that Gabe has given Kirito an item called Zawardo Sido, aka the Season 2 creator. Yeah, it's not dead yet. What the fuck did I just watch? Well, I hope you enjoyed that beautiful piece of literature. Despite how it may sound, I really enjoyed it. Look, despite how generic and basic Kirito was, I for reasons unknown liked him, goddammit. And Asuna was a charmer, what can I say? I'm a sucker for cute anime girls. Despite this, I am somewhat unsure of how the fuck they made a season 2 when everything possible has been wrapped up, but you know, they always find a way, and I watch regardless. So until next time, take care, bye.